The man, the myth, the legend, the Potter Energizer Bunny, Rick Derringer, Tri-State Supply, his lovely bride, Rachel, filming. Tell him where we are, sir.
We are at the Cadence Vault in downtown East Liverpool.
So we're going to open the vault with some great memories in the way of East Liverpool sports. But right now, this is the place, you may not know this, but all weekend long, 50% off all beer.
Yep.
Yingling battered cod fish from Yingling, the oldest brewery in America, Pottstown, Pennsylvania. And there's more, fish and chips and fish tacos and slaw. Great place to meet, great place to gather, great place to spend every Friday during the Lenten season. But East Liverpool High School Hall of Fame, I alluded to this when I was at KDK Radio the other night. So we're going to go through the names very quickly, but we're going to talk about the mindset of what they're doing with the Hall of Fame moving forward, playing sports in East Liverpool and the community of East Liverpool. So let's go through some of these names. Go ahead.
All right, we have first on the list we have Jim Tice. I think you talked about him the other night. I saw your
baseball coach.
Yep. Jim is a very, very well-known fan in the East Liverpool area. Coached baseball, but contributed immensely to the youth sports in the area, Rob, for years as far as youth baseball. He coached up at, I know he coached me in the Palomino League along with Dean Densmore back in the day.
Dean Densmore.
Believe he's a Beaver local grad, believe it or not, but he was at every East Liverpool sporting event you could ever imagine.
You know, we actually, back in the day, we did some baseball on the radio, which was really unique at that time on WHI, but I want to talk about that. Baseball is one of the best kept secrets in East Liverpool. There's been a lot of exceptional baseball players who've gone through the high school, right?
Correct. And I want to check that. I think Jim was actually an East Liverpool grad, but his kids went to Beaver Local, and he lived in the Beaver Local school district for a long time.
That's okay. We're live to tape, so whatever he says, that's what's going to go. All right, Lou Bellino. Here's a guy who taught in the school system, maybe one of the best offensive linemen in the history of the school. The great Bellino family became an incredible entrepreneur, Cassidy Emmanuel. What can you say about this hard-nosed East Liverpool kid going into the Hall?
Other than the fact he went to Miami University, which I'm an Ohio U guy, along with Bob Duffy, who we all know very well.
Absolutely.
Again, you said it best. I mean, one of the better linemen to come out of East Liverpool High School, especially during that time when they were stacked with a lot of linemen and a lot of good football players. Had a very successful career at Miami, and also though was able to come back here to East Liverpool and has been a very vital part of our community and the school system for a lot of years. I believe he played for Air Parsons as well.
Prominent football player Chuck Harris, 1969.
For my time, Bob.
Definitely a prominent player, capturing first-team All-Ohio honors during his time. Now, the modern era, and you're a modern
Might
kind of
know a
guy.
little bit more about
Lindsay
that.
Baker, class of 2017.
Lindsay went on to very, very noted for her prowess in track and field. Believe she's won some national titles, if I'm not mistaken. Went on to college, did very well at the college level in track and field. I believe she was all-state in track and field at East Liverpool. Her accolades speak for themselves. Very well deserved. And her mother, Wendy, was a very good athlete at East Liverpool, who is a basketball player.
Tony Metch, class of 07, track and field, football, basketball, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, Tony was an exceptional athlete. I think he excelled in track and field. I remember watching him play basketball, and I do know that he was a standout on the football field as well.
All right, starting quarterback on the all-time Potter football team, Austin Mayfield, class of 2017. He could swing it.
Austin can throw a strawberry through a battleship. Ended up going on to West Liberty, is now a police officer in St. Clair Township just recently. Austin, another good athlete, went to West Liberty, ended up becoming a punter, and I believe ended up playing more defense than offense down there. So a big kid, very good athlete, and has done well for himself as well.
All right, Eric DeGusto, I'm glad you guys are including a wrestler from the class of 2007.
Don't know much about Eric, but I talked to some of the guys on the Hall of Fame committee that know him, that was able to watch him wrestle, and from what I understand, more than deserves to be into the Hall of Fame.
All right, an all-area and all-OBAC wrestler of the year en route to a third-place finish in the OHSAA Division II State Championships. Randy Burke, class of 1980, a prominent track and cross country athlete.
Graduated about 6 years before I did. Scott Thornberry, who is on our committee and is also was also the head coach at the time, actually nominated Randy, knows him well. Scott himself is in the Hall of Fame for coaching, and not knowing a lot about track and field myself, not following track and field, everything that was brought to the table proved that he deserved to be there as well.
All right, Joey Salone, class of 2014. How do I know him? I think I actually contributed to his bassinet and nursery when he was born. Dear mom and dad, love the family. Talk about his golf skills, 2014.
Along with Blake Prince, probably in this modern era,
Best
two
ever.
of the best golfers that's come out of East Liverpool High School in decades. Those kids worked endless hours at the driving range. I'm very good friends with the Salone family, as you well know.
Mm-hmm.
My wife babysat him from the time he was probably in the second grade till he was old enough to watch himself, and we moved back here. Just like again, spent endless hours honing in on his game. Well deserved. Him and Blake both will be in now together. Those two probably turned around Potter golf and put it back on the map. Finished second in the state their senior year and just had a nice run together up there.
Michaela Edgel, class of 2015, Potter women's basketball.
Remember watching Michaela play some basketball at the end of her career there. Definitely one of the finest ball handling girls and scoring women that I've ever seen up there. Knew what she was doing on the floor general, tenacious, played hard, and I believe went on to play some college basketball and is now coaching as well. Again, another tremendous basketball player. One of the all-time leading scorers in Potter history, not just, if not the leading, not just girls, but boys and girls.
Last one, Justin Campbell, class of 2003. Something everybody should do in high school, play multiple sports, and he shined in them all.
He certainly did. A tremendous all-around athlete. Again, I believe went on to Miami University. I think since then has received his doctorate. Has done very, very well for himself. Tremendous kid, tremendous family, and just a great athlete. I mean, a very rounded athlete, as you said.
Listen, I don't ask for many favors, but I hope in my lifetime I can come back and be the person who introduces Jerry Stovall to get into the East Liverpool Hall of Fame. He loved this.
He is why I'm in this. He recruited me when I moved back 19 years ago. We were probably back for a couple of years, and he came walking into Tri-State Supplies and said, "I need you." And I'm like, "For what?" "For the Hall of Fame committee." I'm like, "Nah." He's like, "Yeah, we need you." So he wrangled me in, and 15 years later, I'm still here. We miss Smoke dearly. I mean, just one of the all-time great Potter fans. Announced with you for years on the radio. Those stories are endless.
Yep.
A tremendous historian of sports here. Him and Steve Golden and some of those guys that we like to call the old heads. Just without them, this Hall of Fame would not be what it is today, because they really have brought the history out and have taught us how to appreciate it and like that.
Honestly, in all my years, not just as a broadcaster, but as a fan, as a member of New Brighton High School, I have never seen anybody who was more loyal or was more loyal to his school in athletics of all kinds than Jerry Stovall. He was, before Google, we had encyclopedias.
Absolutely.
He was a walking encyclopedia.
He absolutely was. If there was a Potter athletic event going on, and it did not matter what it was, whether it was male, female, track and field, whatever it was, there was a good chance you were going to see him there. You know that as well as I do.
Oh yeah, and I can't tell you how many times we'd be doing a road trip, Cambridge, Zanesville, whatever, and I'd always ask him to tell me the story of Bill Booth. And every time I heard it, it was like the first time. He had such passion. But let's talk about this Hall of Fame and where you hope to take it and some of the thought process behind it. Look, a lot of schools have these things.
Absolutely.
But we care about blue and white forever, and we really want to try to do something a little bit different and kind of take it each year to that next level. So moving forward, how do you see this thing unfold?
It's tough. It's hard to get people committed to come and to do it. And then where it really gets kind of tough, Rob, is, you know, you get back into the senior era and even out of the senior era, a lot of the folks are no longer around to give us the statistics or for us to go find the statistics. So some of that gets a little tough at times. So what we're hoping to do is continue to recruit some more people towards the committee that have a history and a knowledge and want to be part of the tradition of continuing to honor the great athletes that have come through the halls of East Liverpool High School. So I mean, it's something we want to take and continue to do, continue to honor the people that deserve to be honored, of course. And it is a Hall of Fame. It's not a Hall of OK or anything like that. So we do try to truly pick what the committee at that time thinks were the best athletes of any given era.
What are some of the criteria? What do you look at?
Number one, you have to be an East Liverpool graduate.
Right.
Number two, the criteria is, I mean, obviously a lot of everything on Hall of Fames are statistically driven.
Right.
It's tough to get statistics, especially for track and field and some of these other sports. There's not a basic criteria. I as a committee member, have a few criteria. If you're all state, you have my vote. If you're one of the best players in the state, you're one of the best players that's graced the halls of East Liverpool High School. The competitions through the year, the competition level through the years in the Valley has changed. So some of these numbers that some of these younger athletes have put up, and I'm not begrudging any younger athletes.
Competition's not the same.
Not only that, a lot of these kids will play varsity for 4 years. As you well know, I mean, if you could play varsity for 2 years back through the mid 80s and even probably into the early 90s, you were lucky to find a field. I mean,
freshmen never played varsity.
Matter of fact, you had a freshman team, and if you were good enough to play varsity as a freshman, you're probably in the Hall of Fame or will be soon.
Memories. What about
Yes.
you growing up here? Your dad, your brother, obviously this whole thing and this just fixation with East Liverpool sports, and I just want to get an opportunity, I've never seen such love for athletics like here in East Liverpool.
You know, it was good to come back. Me and Rachel moved away. We were away for 15, 16 years. Had an opportunity to come back with one of my best friends, Dave Bowersock, and get into Tri-State Supplies. One thing led to another, which allowed me to at some point be the sole proprietor at Tri-State Supplies. But coming back and getting back involved into the schools and the school district in the athletics is something that I've really enjoyed. You know, most people that have come from this place that have played sports or been around it are proud. We're proud to be part of it. And it's not East Liverpool, it's the entire Valley. We've talked about it before, you and me. And I watched your thing in Midland the other day, and some of the names you guys are bringing up from the past were amazing. You know, Steubenville, all the way down to Wheeling, Wellsville High School. I mean, you know, been some tremendous athletes that come out of here. So the passion for sports and the passion to excel in this area has not changed. There's just not as many people.
No, but you and I both agree, a lot of great things happening in this town.
Town's on its way back. I'm proud to be a little bit of a part of that as well. There was a sort of a group of individuals that, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, all sort of migrated back roughly around the same time. And I guess if you want to be part of the problem or part of the solution, we tried to be part of the solution. So, you know, one of the things is this place here. I mean, this is the place that actually started sort of the revival of downtown. And you're seeing more and more. We got a new coffee shop across the street that opened up right around the same time or briefly before that. There's a new winery getting ready to open up. Chef Ray's on the Diamond, where you've been, opening up. It's just, there's a lot of new things coming in, and we're excited to get East Liverpool back on the map.
And there's some buildings that are going to be available. You got the old post office, because you got the new one.
Yep.
Sadly, the Rite Aid's left town, but that's a beautiful building.
That's a beautiful building, great location.
So there's definitely some, I think, things to be excited about in East Liverpool. The streets are paved. You got lights, you know, being strung up down each and every street, 5th Street, 4th Street. So there's life here. All school reunion will be coming before you know it again.
Absolutely.
So now's the time to buy in. Plus you got the Evening Review building, which is pristine, sitting here as well too.
Great building.
Hot dog shop, Ray's still doing what he does. So honestly, I don't know where else you want to be. Great school district. It's a good place.
Yes, it's definitely on the rebound, and we're proud of that, and that's what we want to do. We want to bring pride back to the town. I mean, we want to see it like it was. I mean, I don't know that we'll ever get back to those bustling days where there was potteries everywhere and all that, but, you know, there's new beginnings, and we just want to try to keep it going, and hopefully that's something we can hand down to some of the younger people that are coming through too. And it starts with pride.
Who were some of your heroes as far as East Liverpool athletics that you used to watch as a kid You say, I want to be like that person.
Well, obviously, some of those guys that were just a little older than me. You have the Mark Douglases of the world, Billy Maltrich, Mike Stowers. There's just a ton of those guys who just, when you were young and you went up to Potter Fieldhouse, or in a lot of my instances back then, I was listening to them on Woe High. You wanted to be those guys. I mean, that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to excel and hopefully make them proud of you as coming through.
You know, and even though it's not here anymore, that radio station was such an intricate part of my career, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for that place. And that's why I've been doing this for a decade, coming down here and just giving out some free love and promoting Tri-State Supplies and what he's doing, and obviously here at the Vault and all the other places that we've mentioned and been to. But that little station may not have been a powerful station, but it had a big voice, because it really was telling stories that were unfolding in front of our very eyes in this community, right?
It was, and we were fortunate enough to have a radio station that not only served the community but served the school district so well. And people like you and Smoke Stovall and was it Bob Burbick and some of the guys that Craig Burbick, that's right, my fault. But some of the people that have been here and fostered that along. There's not a whole lot of small towns that had a radio station that literally did every one of our games live.
Home and away.
Every one of them, no matter what. You knew you were on radio. So that was a big thing growing up, too.
It was. And, you know, I still at times go in front of where the station used to be and just kind of park, get a cup of coffee, and I started thinking about how we really meant so much to the community, but the community meant so much to us as well, too. And we have those rivalries with Oak Glen and Wellsville and Beaver Local. And it was the thing to do. I mean, you came down to the Diamond when it was all said and done, hit Brickers, obviously 6th Street Cafeteria now doing great work down there with Chef Ray. It's just, it's appointment radio where everybody had a reason to be there because they were all in. Right. And even if it wasn't East Liverpool, Wellsville felt a part of that community. Chester, New Cumberland felt a part of that community. Beaver Local out there near Rogers and Calcutta, that little community in between. It was really one big happy family, but the thing that always brought us together was sports.
Sports.
And it still does to this day.
Still does to this day. I don't know that it'll ever change.
No, it won't. Anything else as far as the hall, how people can get involved? When are you going to be having this enshrinement? All that other good stuff?
The enshrinement will probably, we try to do that at one of the early football games. Yeah, the weekend of one of the early football games, we'll choose. A lot of times it's the first home game, so I don't know if it'll be the first or the second, but we try to do there. That'll be the night we honor all these folks that are coming into it. We'll honor them on the field that night at halftime or before the game. And then the next day we generally have a formal, not a formal, but a sit-down dinner and actually the induction.
Now, where can people who may be listening as part of the alumni who are hearing about it for the first time, like where can they go see some of this stuff? The plaques? And
the plaques are up at Potter Fieldhouse. I don't know if Potter Fieldhouse is open to the public during the day, during school hours or not, but anytime that building's open, you're more than welcome, I'm sure, to go through there and admire some of the past and well, soon to be future guys going in there, guys and ladies. The other ways to get involved is if you really want to get involved, we take nominations year round. Best way to do that is probably, I believe now that you can actually nominate through the Alumni Association's website.
Right.
Drop us a letter, drop us a note. You can always come in and drop stuff off to me at Tri-State Supplies. We're accessible in any way possible, so just reach out. Anybody that wants to be involved, we're always looking for volunteers.
Listen, 2 more names, then we're going to say goodbye. Rick Derringer, we're at the Vault. Don't forget, 50% off beer all weekend long. It's Friday, it's Lent, all sorts of incredible things. Fish tacos and slaw. You're going to absolutely love it. Mouth-watering good. Yingling, batter, dip, cod, and fish and chips. I mean, this community built in the pottery industry. Many people came from England, so it only makes sense that you have fish and chips for the Lenten season. Jimmy Joe Savage has been such a crown jewel, still taking the pictures. One of the things that I used to love was the review, the pictures, the day after. Get in close and talk about that a little bit. Go ahead.
Jimmy Joe is what I want to say here. He's a community icon. I mean, again, much like some of these older guys that have been to all it, if there's a Potter athletic event going on, Jimmy Joe's there. And if you don't know him, just look to the sidelines. You'll see him with a camera around his neck. And he takes the best action photos. He's dedicated to that school, to that district. And as far as I know, Jimmy probably does it for free.
Listen, one of the things that I used to love to do, I'd get the copy of the Evening Review Saturday or Sunday when I was doing coaches shows to get the information, but I love the action shots, the Morning Journal. I still think there's a place for that. Their website, of course, you can get the apps, download them on your phone. They still do it. But Jimmy Joe does it day in and day out, and he is a throwback who understands the significance and how a picture can tell and show 1,000 things that you miss, but every time you look at it, you see something else. And the other person is the guy that really started the Lou Holtz Upper Ohio Valley Hall of Fame, the guy with the Alumni Association for many years, who really is the brand blue and white forever. There is not one community, the all-school reunion, nobody has ever done more for one community, in my opinion. Much love to Frank Digger Dawson.
No argument here. One of the greatest people I've ever met. Again, especially football season, it's hard-pressed not to see Frank down at Patterson Field on a Friday night. Home games, away games. I don't think he gets up as much to the basketball games as he probably used to, but has given back to this community 1,000 times over.
So why are you and Scott just so hard-nosed when it came to basketball? I used to just fly through the air with reckless abandon. Your dad is such a kind, God-fearing, gentle man. Where did that tenacity come from? It was unbelievable. I think about you two, always just leaning and slamming and flying into the wall. What was up with that? Where'd that come from?
Well, my dad wasn't always that guy. He was tenacious as well, but I don't know, Rob, it was natural. I mean, you just grew up and you were aggressive and you were, that's just the way we were. I mean, and there's still a lot of people that are, but that was just, I was small, so I had to make up for it somehow.
You do a lot of playground basketball back then?
We did, more after I got out of school, but yes, we played year round, man.
And all schools need to understand that's what you need to do.
Basketball players are made in this summer. That's simple. Always have been. That was what Bob Dawson told us.
Where was your favorite playground court around here? You used to just love to go on a hot summer day and get that Spalding ball and get out there and break it sweat.
When I was younger, we went down to Horace Mann a lot, down across from the old East Elementary. Down there, we would, when I was younger, you didn't get to play much. You got to watch.
You had to wait.
You got to watch, and if you got to play, you were lucky to get on with some of the guys we were talking about, the Mike Stowers of the world, and those guys. I mean, I remember seeing Nate Conley's dad, Chris, down there playing, and just all those guys. And again, when I was young enough, it was just as much about going down and watching those guys as it was about playing. And some of those guys was come down from Midland to play. I remember Roosevelt or Kirby coming down back then, Boo or whatever. Yeah. I remember him coming down and playing. And then, after that went away, they put up a court down behind Westgate School. And I would say my late teens and then early 20s, that's where we spent most of our time playing basketball outside there.
One more person, all the coaches, I'm grateful, many of them, even the present ones that I've been doing all these interviews in recent years. But Don Rogers, Duck, did more for me during my 20 years of play-by-play. Whenever I needed somebody to open a door, give me an opportunity, set up a broadcast location, make a connection, he was always there. He was the consummate professional. He's what every athletic director should be. Love his kids, love his family. I know he's been dealing with some health issues, but Don Rogers, an intricate part of this school district.
Without a doubt. He was the AD when we were in school. For some years after I was out of school. He's an Ohio University grad as well, so I got to get that plug in there. Don was a great basketball player in his own right, from what I understand. Great family. The boys are still involved. I know I see Eric around. We talk a lot about sports. I don't see Scott as much. His daughter Vicky, I know, ended up going to Beaver Local, or the boys that were at Liverpool. But I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I'm not sure how long he was the AD, but I know he was probably up at that school 40 plus years.
Tell them what Tri-State Supply does, all sorts of things, A to Z.
We do a little bit of everything, mostly paper supplies, janitorial, we're business-to-business delivery, toilet tissue, paper towels, cleaning agents, bar supplies, napkins, straws, stuff like that. We also have a flooring division where we will install commercial flooring, residential flooring, You name it, we try to do it well.
You're my hero. Thank you to your beautiful wife for doing this, and thanks to everyone for letting me come down and spend a little time in the sandbox here at East Liverpool, Ohio. The Vault, get down there. I'll tell you one more time, batter dip, Yingling, cod, fish, all beer this weekend, 50% off those fish tacos and slaw. You got to have the slaw. And fish and chips only make sense in the pottery capital of the world. Many people coming from England to carry on that great tradition that still lives every day in the city of Hills and Kilns. All right, here he is, Rick Derringer. I'm Rock Pratt. I'm going home, getting to sleep for a couple of hours, and then back on the radio tomorrow right after CBS Radio News at 5 a.m. Big sports weekend. Coons Quality Food Sports Report Saturday and Sunday morning, and the best hometown sports talk show anywhere. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show right after local news at 11. And speaking of high school basketball, tonight got a playoff game, the Allegheny Health Network Sports Medicine Friday night game of the week. It is North Allegheny and Baldwin, and those two coaches will join me coming up right after local news at 11 on KDKA this Sunday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good night.